as we get started this lovely Saturday morning. My question is, where's my coffee? Hey, Bacon. Can you, I think it's in the microwave. Can you just put it for a few seconds and bring me my coffee, please? All right, so what do you got? Questions? So John Crippo this week was tweeting out, how do we expect teachers to teach on a 13-inch screen? And so what I've got is my big giant iMac right now, and I've got my slides on the left side and the Meet on the right side. I'm going to screen share my entire screen because I want you to see my strategy for when I do video, because I have a big screen. Is it warm? Because I have a big screen, I literally just have it side by side. Can you see that? Does anyone have any trouble with how to navigate Google Meet for being able to see the screen? If you go to the three dots at the bottom, it has full screen option and different layout options that you might want to play with that. So if I am not on a big giant screen, what I do is I resize my browser to be most of the screen, and then I resize the Meet to also be most of the screen so that they're overlapping like this, so I can easily toggle back and forth. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you what I do, and then you are going to try it. And so you're going to want to be able to do the Meet and have your own window once we get into the you try it part. So I would recommend that you have your windows layered. So you have a window of just Chrome in the upper left, and you have your Meet in the bottom right. And I'm going to stop presenting so that I can not do full screen. I'm just going to do the window. And shrink that up. This over. All right, and please turn on your microphones. And I am recording this session, Carol. Feel free to talk and interact. All right, so what we are doing is we're using this thing that I coded, and I am working on getting you some premium features. So one of the things that I want you to do is create a new Google Classroom every grading period, if for no other reason than to do this. And I'm gonna type that. Make a new Google Classroom class every unit.
Alice, this is Mimi. I'm having trouble understanding you. Is it just me? You're kind of garbled.
That's a good question, Mimi.
Is it just me? People have their mics on. I think we're getting feedback, like a double, and it's glitching.
Oh, okay. Usually this doesn't happen.
I don't hear it. So mute all is coming. And you know, I just moved, so I got to know where I put all my junk. Let me go see if I can get some headphones if that will help. Hold on 1 second.
I think for me, it started happening when she said you can unmute yourselves. I think everyone or a lot of people did that. So if everyone, like I just see Marie is unmuted, and so that might.
So I should, I should change my name there. It's Mimi. Just
well,
call me Mimi.
There we go. And I think that will stop the feedback. And I will say, as I see her having to admit every one of us, I'm thinking maybe I don't want that feature in my classroom unless I can admit all at once.
I think you only have to admit guests. But of course, you're all guests. Not one of you are students at my school. So usually I don't use the headphones because I've been having a real bad eczema outbreak ever since the COVID-19 thing hit, and it's just the extra stress. But since I moved to Kansas, it seems to be better. So let's try it.
Just FYI, we're not getting the feedback anymore. I think we maybe found the.
Is that working? No, I can't hear you. Let me.
Yes, that's very good.
Settings. Okay, we are going to do external and headphones. How's that? Can you hear me?
That's
No,
better.
but I can't hear you. Why can't I hear? Mimi, can you talk? I see if your mic on.
Yeah. Yes, that's
She's
better.
talking. I'm not hearing anything. Let me go back to my
Oh, no.
settings.
Can anybody else hear me?
Speakers. It says headphones.
Yes. Okay.
That's a no.
Okay, good.
Okay. Now
I always
here's
think it's me.
the lesson here is that this stuff will happen to you. When you're working with your students, and there is no reason to get stressed out because you can't control that. You know, if you get stressed out over
Right.
things you can't control, you're just going to be drinking a lot. So, oh boy, I feel like I'm funny. All right, why?
You are.
Why?
You are funny.
Okay.
You're awesome.
So I can't hear you guys.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear
Now
me?
You're
Is it good,
garbled
or
like before.
Mimi, that's because your mic's on again.
Well, maybe if we only put our
All right,
microphones on when we're actually speaking.
It's mine. It's mine. So, which is weird. Okay, so let me see, because I was output. Why can't I do the speakers if I do? I can't hear you, I think. Input. So you can hear me you can hear me.
Yes.
I just can't hear you, which is terrible. Why? Why? I probably just need to restart my computer or something, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going one more time with it. I'm glad you can hear me. I can't. I push test. It doesn't do anything. Okay. Well, then we're going to rely on you guys using chat because that's the way it's going to be today. All right. So we're going to make a new Google Classroom class every unit. And I really encourage you to do this for a lot of reasons. One of them is you can only have 100 topics in your class. And you don't want 100 topics because the more stuff that you have in a Google Classroom, the slower it loads. So I was doing a training one time and I had 40 assignments. And then it was choking, like just trying to load it up with those 40 assignments. It was just really slow to load. So for that reason, I want to keep it smaller. Also, it's just nicer. I can organize it better. If I have every unit, I start a fresh classroom. I'm not stuck with my decisions. I mean, right now, how do you organize your Google Classroom? I don't know. You're going to make a guess. And you're like, oh, I wish I had done this. Super. Well, next unit, you can do that. I also like to organize in topics by, by the unit. So I have a topic that's just like challenges, things I find in the news, puzzles, videos. So I can much better organize my Google Classroom if I have it for the unit. And then when you want to reuse them from last year to this year or moving forward, you're not searching the whole year. You're just searching one unit. It makes it a lot easier to find stuff. I got other reasons too, but think about this reason. Alice is always improving her code, and you won't get the updates if you don't make a new one. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to alicekeeler.com/reusegc, and this is how I manage my Google Classroom for all these workshops. So I'm going to make a copy, and we're just going to let it load. As you know, anything that I've coded, you just got to chillax for a minute. Just let it breathe. I don't know. I've been doing all my stuff using this computer the last few days. I don't know why the sound suddenly wasn't good. I did move rooms though. Finally got a desk. Okay, so once it loads, I should be able to find the reuse GC in the add-ons. I'm going to show the sidebar. And I'm going to authorize the add-on, which you cannot see. Just whatever scary things it says, say yes. I am going to make a new Google Classroom class so that we can play. And then I'm going to delete it. So you're going to join it, and then we're going to delete it. If you can't join it, that's fine. If I can at least get 1 or 2 people to join, that will be enough. We're going to create a class, and the class name is Delete This Later. I'm hilarious. I'm in a good mood. My kids are riding bikes. The sun is out. I'm going to start getting paid with my new job. It's going to be amazing. All right, so this is the join code. So if you are able to join this Google Classroom, I'm going to show you how it works. Just a friendly reminder that my speakers are not working, so you're going to chat any questions. Hey, buddy, want to come show my friends your blue hair? Yeah, I know. Come here. Say hi to my friends. Hi. So he's been asking all summer to dye his hair blue, and then I took him down there, and I, like an idiot, didn't ask how much it would cost. And $55 means that's the last time yes, exactly, Jane. That's the last time we'll be doing his hair blue. And then, of course, the next day he wanted to go to the pool. So it's not quite even the same blue. But he's 8, so he should go to the pool. What's wrong, buddies?
You know the window on your car? I accidentally hit my head on it.
Don't smash into windows. That's a good life lesson. Look out for them. Go ride your bike somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this. I can. Just gonna put it down there just in case you need it. Awesome. So then what I want to do is in here, when I click Setup in the sidebar, if I import my classes, that one's gonna come up. Notice that there is a lag. I pushed it once, and the lag's probably worse for me than you because I have 350 Google Classroom classes. It should, there it goes. 338, I deleted some. I'm just gonna do 5. So it's gonna list all of your classes, and you're gonna want one of these spreadsheets per class. So what I do is I create 1 class per subject. So like geometry, I put all my students in 1 class. In algebra, I put all my students in 1 class. You don't have to, but so in that case, I would need 2 spreadsheets. But if I have 6 periods of Algebra 1 with 6 Google Classroom classes, then you would need to do this 6 times. Yes, you can use it. Yeah, don't worry about it if you can't get in. I just need a few people in so I can demonstrate that it will give you grades. So no worries. A couple of people will be fine. Okay, so I import my class. I checkbox which class I'm going to do, and I set the class. All of you should just beg or ask or buy a Starbucks for the IT person at your school and get him to whitelist my domain, fresnoteach.org. There is literally no reason they shouldn't do it. It doesn't give me access to anything. If they would just allow whitelisting and then they would type in fresnoteach.org, I'll put it down here. It takes literally seconds. And then you could join using your district accounts. So anywhere I do my training, I have them whitelist. I have access to nothing. There is no risk. And even if there was, which there is not, I am a trustworthy person. And the only person on my domain is me. So, okay. So I have checkboxed my class. And I'm going to go to Get Assignments. Now here is the trick. It will only auto score assignments that are created from the spreadsheet. Now this should make sense, is that someone should not be able to code to delete all your Google Classroom assignments. So for example, when I go to quizzes.com and I sync it with my Google Classroom classes and I create a quiz that goes to Google Classroom, it pushes the scores and the reports into that Google Classroom assignment. It is only authorized to modify that assignment, right? It put the assignment in there, It can change the description. It can change the scores for the kids. And that's only because it made the assignment. Can quizzes push scores to other assignments? No, it doesn't have permissions to ones it didn't make. So that's basically the way that this is. So I make all of my assignments using the spreadsheet. So I keep this. So what I do is I go, I'm going to list assignments, and I'm going to do it from, do I have anything in there? I'll just do it from this one. I'm going to list these assignments. If you have a previous class that you want to reuse, that's what the list assignments is. So when I reuse posts, I do not use, when I go to the classwork page and I go to create, I don't use reuse post. Sometimes I do, but mostly I just do it with the spreadsheet because first of all, it's faster and easier. So you'll see here, 1 second, like all the assignments from this other class are going to come up. Boom. Yeah. So you can see, no. So you can see all of the assignments from last year's class all at once. And it's like, okay, you want to reuse this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then I click reuse. Do I want to save them a draft? No, I want to publish them right now. I know I just saved you hours. And I'm working on, this is the free version, so I'm working on some premium features to put into here. So hang tight for that. Obviously, starting the school year and moving to Kansas has put a damper on my coding. But I did this week, did you guys see that I coded how to make a table of contents in a Google Slides? So I've got that for my webinar next Saturday. You're going to want to do this. Oh yeah, sorry, my speakers are not working. Someone can speak for me. Okay, so now when I go over to my Google Classroom class, oh, I put yes for draft. No, I'm going to do it again. I don't want to draft. I'm too lazy. I'm doing one more time. I'm going to reuse. Do I want to save them as a draft? No, not a draft. So you see when I said yes, I put them in as a draft. Do you see how it even brought in the documents and everything? What it doesn't bring in is it doesn't bring in your rubric and it doesn't bring in your grading categories because it doesn't let me code that. Like I just can't. Yeah, so Mimi, on here, what you have to do is you first checkbox the class that this is for. Then you checkbox the class you want to list. So you have to set the class and then you have the options to list assignments if you want to reuse. So the advantage to doing the reusing from this spreadsheet means the assignments were created from this spreadsheet. So now you'll notice in the Google Classroom class, I got a bunch of assignments on here. Can you guys just turn some in? Just one or two, I don't even care. Just turn some in. I can also, instead of reusing assignments, I just make an assignment. Like number 300, I just made this. Okay. It doesn't matter. So when I don't use the create button, personally, I do not use the create button because anything I create, I cannot code. So if I do it from here, if I do it from the spreadsheet, then I can code that assignment. That might not mean a lot to you, but if you did know how to code even a little bit, you could take this and go to the tools menu and the script editor, and you could code your own stuff if you knew how. Okay, so when I come over here, you see it just made this assignment. I'm going to post it. Yeah, sign. Great. Just turn some things in just so I have some stuff turned in. So obviously no one did that one. All right, cool. I got 9 people turned in that one, 5 people turned in that one, 5 people turned in that one. How many points is this worth? I need to make this worth points. I'm going to make this one worth 20. Yep. Super. I don't know why it does that. Like, yeah, I really meant to. And I'm going to make it, it won't autograde if it's not worth any points. Okay, oh, that one is worth 4. Okay, great. Cool. All right, so they're worth points. Be really great if I knew how to use Google Classroom. Okay. So back over here, what I want to do is come down to the bottom. Do you see the last option says automate? So I click automate. It says grade for me. Well, that sounds lovely. I would like it to grade for me. How many days do I want it to do that so it doesn't do it forever? Now, remember I told you to make one every unit? So how long is a unit? Like 3 weeks? So 3 times 7 is 21. So I'll just do it for 25 days. It is now going to automatically just give full credit. Oh man, it's still doing that. Okay. I'm going to go to the main menu. And you'll see on the main menu it says score. So I can do that manually. So I'm at the point now where I'm so lazy that when I open up a Google Classroom assignment and people have turned stuff in and they don't have a score, I'm like, no, I'm not doing 4 enter, 4 enter, 4 enter, 4 enter, 4 enter. I'm not doing that. It's tedious. And you start putting in 44. Oh, like every time it drives me nuts. So I'm just like, I just go ahead and I hit score, and it's not fast, just so you know. It's not fast. Do you see how it just gave Diane 20 points and just gave Tasha 20 points and gave other Diane 20 points? Just what it's doing is it's going through all the assignments and each person, and it's not fast. So go get some coffee. But dang it, it sure is better than you putting scores in. Now, remember that what I did is when I was on the assignments page, at the very bottom, it says automate. I set it to do this automatically for the next 25 days. So every hour, it just starts looking for assignments. It doesn't do it on submit. So when a student submits, it doesn't auto grade right away. It has to wait till it cycles back. But eventually it gets there. So main menu. Let's go take a look. This is assignment number 53. And Tasha, your question is, why is Jamboard blocked? Actually, Jamboard is not a core product in the sense that it's turned off by default. So if you get a brand new Google Apps domain, Google Meet, I think, is turned off by default. Maybe not. They're always changing stuff on me, so but it used to be. But Jamboard, for whatever reason, is default off. So someone's got to go into admin.google.com, admin.google.com, and then they go to the apps and go to Jamboard and toggle it on. So it's not so much, Tasha, that it's blocked. They just might not know that they need to turn it on because there's no reason they should have it off. They should turn it on. Okay. So I'm going to look at this number 7. Do you see how everybody has full credit? I didn't type one of those. I did not. Okay, so I'm going to return. Now, if one of you all, Patricia, Diane, Mimi, Kate, Diane, if one of you could, it's okay if you don't, it's okay if you can't, turn in number 7. Eventually, this is going to get back to number 7. It just did it, so it's got to run through the whole cycle one more time. I'm going to come here, and it's got the link to the assignment. Go to student work. Look at that, full credit. I'm like, oh, Mimi, I'm a full credit kind of gal. I do credit, no credit. So that obviously makes my life easier. But if for some reason I'm giving Mimi half credit, I just edit it, which is still faster. It's still faster than me having to do it for every single person. Return. It's just nice to have a default in there, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here. See, now it's scoring number 9. I'm just kicking it. It's just putting scores in for you guys. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to unplug my headphones, and if anybody wants to ask a question. I'm a novice Alice user. All right, Amy, I'll do it again. Don't worry, you can do this. Amy, this one is maybe a more advanced, definitely a more advanced meeting. Okay, so I'm learning the questions, and I took off the headphones if anybody wants to turn on their mic. Diane, that's a great question. You guys are in I haven't seen it as a student. I think they can see the default score, but their status is still assigned. Gabby gets a score on all of the assignments. So one of the things I'm going to work on for the premium membership is that you can choose which assignments are auto-scored instead of having them all auto-scored. I don't know. I just like to at least give them default credit because it just saves me so much time. So Casey, this add-on is alicekeeler.com/reusegc, and I've got a bunch of features in here. Okay, none of you want to use your mics anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in.
We can hear you just fine.
We can hear you, Alice.
Oh, is it fine without it?
Yeah, yeah. It sounds fine now.
I just feel like it's boxing my ears. I don't know. I need probably to invest in a headset that's $200 or something. That one was free.
We think the glitch was when you told everyone we can unmute our mics, and a lot of people did, not understanding you meant unmute them when you had a question or a comment.
Thank you. I will try to clarify that. Okay. Gabby, it is only auto-scoring people who turn it in. So what my code is doing is it says, go to assignment 1. Did anyone turn it in? Go to assignment 2. Did anyone turn it in? Go to assignment 3. Did anyone turn it in? And it actually times out after 30 minutes. So it just does it for 30 minutes and then just wherever it stops. And then 30 minutes later, it'll just, or an hour later, I think it's every hour, whatever. I don't remember what I coded at, but then it just automatically does it again on what's called a trigger, and it picks up where it left off. Now, if it's not doing it as fast as you want to, that's where I have the score button so I can do it manually. So you don't have to click the score. It's on the main menu after you set up. You don't have to click it, but sometimes it's just, like I said, it just pauses. So I'm just like, yeah, let's keep going, and I'll do it manually because I'm lazy. So keep going, just thinking about it. All right. So I'm gonna redo this just one more time. It's alicekeeler.com/reusegc. I make a copy. Right, work smarter, not harder. I wait for it to load. Right, so Gabby, it asks you when you reuse assignment if you want it to be two things. Yes and yes. So when it's in the spreadsheet, I can actually edit the title and I can edit the description before I reuse it. So my numbers obviously don't match from last year. So I will usually, before I reuse, like that one's 58 and this one's 59. I'll usually renumber them before I reuse them. And you can also edit the description. You're like, well, that's not true anymore. And you can modify them before you hit reuse. Otherwise, when you reuse it, it says, do you want to post it or do you want to save it as a draft? If you say yes, it posts as a draft. So then you can edit it the way you want to, add your rubrics and add the categories. I usually post it as a draft just so I can set my sidebars with my due dates and that kind of stuff the way I want it. Yeah. Do I have to keep, no, you don't have to keep the tab open. It runs in the background. You can totally close it. So you see here, number 7 is not graded for a bunch of you, but it's going to, let me go to the scores page. There it goes, it's coming. So now it's starting over. Okay, so I go to alicekeeler.com/reuseGC for each Google Classroom class. I do the add-ons. It's also in the menu up there. I show the sidebar. I have to authorize it. Whatever it says, just say yes. This will be the scariest list of authorizations of your life because I literally have it like use everything. You're going to click setup. The thing is you made a copy, so you're just giving yourself permission. So import classes. Right. If you don't have a lot, you don't need to put in a number, but I have a lot. Okay. You're going to set the current class. You got to set the current class. And then you go to get assignments. And this is what lets you create assignments, either reusing ones you already had or create new ones. Look what I got here. Can you see my little spotlight or no? No? Dang it. Because I really like that. My mouse turns into a spotlight. It's an add-on I put in there, whatever. Collaborative slides. If I push this, what do you want to title this? Number 301. Everyone collaborate. It's going to put into your Google Classroom class an assignment that has a Google Slides that's set to edit. Those are the slides it made. And the reason why it's just faster is because I don't have to remember to set it to everyone can edit, the middle option, anyone can edit. How often do you think I forget to like change it from Can View? A lot. And if I do, you certainly do too, right? And then if I do push slides, this is a little more complicated. The push slides allows you to take an assignment out of Google Classroom where every student has a Google Slides and allows you to push new slides to them. And you can push them to the top, you can push them to the bottom, or anywhere in the middle. If I do show roster, it's just going to give me a list of my, my roster on here. So you want to do the show roster to do the ones below it. Yeah, it's like slip and slide, but it's free, Casey, but it's free. Not that all my stuff is free, because I'm trying to make a living coding. I've been praying about it, and just feel the Lord says, you can do this, Alice. So, but right now it's all free, and I'm not changing that. It's going to be free. And then so if I do the roster to slides, what that does, it grabs the roster. So I'm going to make this number 302. Let's jigsaw. This is going to make a new assignment in Google Classroom. It's going to make one Google Slides, and it's going to put your, watch this. Check it. It put your names in there. You see that? And it's automatically in Google Classroom. Let's go take a look. Now it's a draft, so I'm going to post it. Do you see it? Students can edit by default? Yeah.
This is amazing.
Thank you. So, and then I'm going to assign this. Go ahead, number 302, turn it in. It's going to auto score it for you. Now I have to, before it'll auto score, I got to go to automate, and I got to click grade for me. That's one time, sort of. Like if I just say do it for the next 10 days, well then in 10 days I got to reset it to auto score. But now it's grading for me. Except, do you see how I did it twice? So this one will only auto score these two assignments that I made. Those are the only ones that'll auto score. This one will only auto score the ones, remember I imported it and created it from that spreadsheet. So because they're technically two different spreadsheets, this spreadsheet can only grade the ones it made, and this spreadsheet can only grade the ones it made. I don't normally make two for the same class. I would just demonstrating through the steps again. So you want to make one per class. And then what I do is on the scores page, I copy the link at the top. And I go to Google Classroom. And on the classwork page, I create a material. And I call it Keeler spreadsheet. Because this is how I make all my assignments. I stop using the create button. I just don't, 98%. I do not use the create button anymore. So I need to have fast access to this. So I leave it no topic. I just give the link to my spreadsheet. I put it in the description because if I add it here, it cuts off the tab. And I like it to go to the scores tab just so I can like, oh yeah, it's grading for me. It just feels good. Like it is. It's grading for me. I love it. But I save it as a draft. Like it's not for the kids, it's for me. So I do this all the time is I create materials and I leave them as drafts and they're all the things that I want later. So like, let's go look at my class for the remote Google Classroom that I'm making. You'll see several things. I got a bunch. Do you see all these materials in there? They're like, is it engaging? That's nothing. It's a note to myself. I just make notes to myself, like Post-it notes. I'm like, Alice, you know, like when you're like, literally yesterday I was in the bathtub with my phone. Does anyone else do that? No, just me? Okay. So I'm in the bathtub with my phone. And of course you just get these ideas like, oh, I want to make sure I mention this. So I go to the Classroom app on my phone and I go and I add a material and I put in myself a little note to remind myself that I want to do this later. And I just save it as a draft. And so then I've got all my, like, don't forget these things, Alice. And then you see these up here, this 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Those are ones I made from the spreadsheet. Here, take a look. I got the spreadsheet. Keeler spreadsheet, see? And so I get fast access to my reuse assignments, the reuse GC. Let's see how many times I didn't put in someone's score. Shall we? It's too far. Do you see I'm in 5,000s right now? 5,000 times it has checked whether or not it should give a score that I didn't type it in. Now, if I don't return it, it just keeps giving them a score. So it's like the reason why I would do it 5,000 times is because I'm not faster than my code. So you do need to return. So all it does is it's giving you the default score. You still have to return it. But it's just sitting here like all day long, just putting scores in for you guys. It just saves me a ton of time. All right, you ready to try it yourself? Okay, so remember you want to side-by-side your windows, or you can just watch, Mimi. It's cool. Do it later. It's recorded. I'm going to give you the recording. Okay, so.
Alice, can I just clarify something?
Yes, please.
So when you're saying, oh, you're not faster than your code, you know, it's scoring, the students, will they receive notification again and again that?
I don't think so. You would know. I probably have people emailing me all the time complaining because for all of my workshops, I use the spreadsheet. Do you notice on the stream of the workshops, it says, oh gosh, what does it say? It's like a lot of words. It annoys the crap out of me. I complain like all the time. Like, what the heck, you guys? That one was a material. So then that one I didn't do from the code. Told everybody to say hi, so I have to scroll past that. Okay, right. PD Alice Keeler posted a new assignment via Reuse GC. It does that every stinking time. And now what's the assignment title? It cuts the dang thing off. I mean, it didn't cut off a lot of it because it's just the via Reuse GC. It adds that on there. But you can tell that I added those with code. Here, let's open this up. Notice they are gonna all have scores. Look at that. Yeah, that's 15 times. I don't have to go 4 enter, 4 enter. That's all I live for. So you are doing alicekeeler.com/reusegc, and I'm gonna walk you through this. So Casey said she just gets the notification once. Casey, do you get it right away before I return it? Or just when I return
I get it. It just looks like you've returned an assignment like it would for anyone. I don't think it pushes anything out until you return it.
Great.
So, yeah.
Great. That's good to know. You got to return everything. You guys see that I return literally everything. Well, Donna, it knows how many points it's worth. So you notice on the example, name something that's burgundy. Okay, that one was 4. Which one of these did I make 20 points? Is this one? No.
Alice?
Yeah.
Is this used just for assignments that where you get points just for turning it in, or
No.
no? Okay.
Okay, so I mean, you grade how you grade.
Okay.
If we could have a whole debate over what happens if you're not giving most kids full credit. You know, why aren't they? So most of the time I'm putting in full credit. So just at least defaults to that. So I only have to edit the ones that are not full credit.
Okay, got it.
So you see here, this one was worth 20 points. It gave her 20. The other ones were worth 4 points, so it gave them 4. I do rubric scoring in Google Classroom. Yeah.
Well,
so 4 just
that's what I plan on doing too, and I actually only plan on grading assessments, and nothing else is going to be graded.
I agree with that.
You don't?
No, I do.
Oh, you do. Okay.
I'm not telling you to do this, but I eventually moved to all my assessments are credit, no credit also. But you know what? I always tell people, don't jump in the deep end. You got to dip your toe in and go slowly. And so try that and then try something else, Okay, so you are doing alicekeeler.com/reusegc. It's going to ask you to make a copy. The roster to slides code is in the alicekeeler.com/reusegc, Monique. So I'll show you. So we're waiting for the spreadsheet to load. And when it does, in the add-on menu, it's going to say reuse GC. It'll also show up here. They're both the same. Amy, I do have beginner classes, absolutely. And it is $12 a month for the subscription. So we are going to do show sidebar. And you're going to have to authorize. Just whatever it says, say yes. So you should be looking, a sidebar should come up once you authorize it. Thanks, Casey. Once you authorize it, you're going to click the blue setup button. You're going to import your classes. Thanks, Tasha. Just wait for it. They're coming. Now, if you want to just load all of them, just click OK. You can see why I don't want to load all of them because I have way too many. There is no search. You have to use my template. So you have to do alicekeeler.com/reusegc. So most of my stuff I code, I don't submit to Google because it is an awful and painful process. And if it uses Drive app or Gmail app, this uses all the apps. This code uses all of the apps. I have probably 15,000 lines of code at least. Google would charge me $15,000 to publish this, so I'm not going to. No, Casey, you can just do this with a class you already have. So check any class that you already have. and then just set the class, and it'll turn green. And then this spreadsheet is for that class that's green. And I copy the link and I put it into my Google Classroom as a material, and I save it as a draft because it's for me. And then I can get back to my spreadsheet really fast.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I've got my class in green, right?
Perfect.
I chose a class, it's green. What do I do now?
Now, well, you're a step ahead of me, Mimi.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. Now we're going to click on Get Assignments. So you're not going to see this screen again unless you hit the Setup button. It knows you set it up. So now we're just on the Assignments page.
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you. What did you say about, so now that I've set it and I've made my class green, you said something about copying this link and putting it where?
Just a link to the spreadsheet. I just copy the link to the spreadsheet, and the class that it's for, I create a material and I paste the link there because it's one spreadsheet per class. So if you have 5 classes, you need 5 spreadsheets, and obviously I don't want to think about it.
That makes so much sense.
So I open my class, I look for my draft that says this spreadsheet, and then I do all my work in the spreadsheet. And Casey, I'm going to make this really cool. I'm going to keep adding new stuff. And like, I've already coded how to do group work, so I need to just add that in. I'm probably going to add that to the premium features. I just have to decide what's free. But I'm going to for sure do group work. I'm trying to figure out how I could do schedule to multiple classes. That's going to take me a while. That'll probably be next year because it's more complex. But I'll take requests. I'm taking requests for sure, because what I want is I want to use this spreadsheet to manage my Google Classroom. So I'm working on making student reports, which is harder than you think it is. And the reason is because of the way that they let you do the code. It's so stinking slow for it to look up all the assignments for a kid. It runs out of time. I'm like, man. So, I mean, I got it working. So you can have like a missing, you like give me a report of what they're missing. I got that working, but it times out. I'm like, So I'm just going to have to play with it some more. I'm going to add all these features. I'm going to add group work. And I just want you to be able to use this spreadsheet as like your home base. And I'm going to make it do all kinds of cool things for you. So when you're on the assignments tab, you can make some assignments. So choice 1, just click draft, make an assignment. Lisa, none of this is premium. All of these are free. I'm going to make premium features. I just added to the calendar rubric training, but on the premium page, on the premium website, which I don't like how it's organized right now. I'm working on it. So you guys tell me. I've got this table of contents. Do you like it, or should I just ditch it?
I don't look at it. Not much.
Maybe look at it.
I scroll down and I look at the week's webinars, and that's what I do.
Okay.
And I look at your webinar archives too.
Yeah. So if you go to the webinar archives, okay. I'm going to try and reorganize this. At first, like I didn't have that many, but now I have a lot. I have one on rubrics on here. Rubrics rant. So let me pop this out. I should upload this to YouTube. I'm going to upload this one to YouTube. Just download it. Here's the rubric. Here is rubric rant. There you go. Enjoy. But it's on that premium page for my webinar archives. The rubrics on there. But I'm going to send out the premium membership here in a few minutes, and it will have the link to, I am this week doing rubrics. It's on there. I'm doing it again. I'm going to attempt to rant less. Good luck with that. Grading is my jam. That's what I read research on it. And I can't help myself. I'm like, oh, averaging. No, don't average things. Just don't. Time to move on. See, I can't help from ranting. I have to rant. It definitely takes work, Casey. But you know what? I'm kicking it. I'm kicking it. So if you want to reuse, you got the checkbox which one you want to list, and then you can reuse. So it has to be 1, 2. You have to list them first and then reuse them. Or you can make fresh assignments.
That's fine. I'm trying to get them listed from another class on the spreadsheet, and nothing's happened yet. So I'm just trying to know if I need to be patient or if I've done something wrong.
What's going to happen is just going to like dump them all at once. It's just like all of a sudden like magic. It's going to be like, and it's there. Did do it?
Well, I'm getting the pop-up that's like listing assignments, listing assignments, listing assignments. So it's apparently doing something.
Yeah. Just know this, coding Google Classroom is super slow. It's just so slow. It literally is like looking through the entire list of everything possible in the whole dang class. And then just everything is slow. So we're just going to believe that it saves me time in the long run. So I push the button, go get some coffee, go to the bathroom, whatever. Yes. Did you try the show roster? Try the collaborative slides. You know, I told the neighbors they could come over anytime, but I should have put a caveat on that. When I'm not presenting, I'm just thrilled my kids have friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. How long have you been there?
Today is day 6.
Okay. I grew up in Kansas, so.
I love it here.
What time is it there? It's 10:54. It should start getting really hot really soon. Talk to me then.
You know, I'm from California, in the middle of California. It is not
okay.
where I came from, and I grew up in Alaska. So Casey, this ain't gonna bother me. And I lived in Seattle. I'm good. This is all I am a little nervous about the weather, but the people are insanely nice.
Yes, they are. The people are really nice.
Some old guy, he's retired from the school. He just gave me a fistful of cucumbers. I don't even know who he is. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah. You know, the saying where I lived was, if you have to plant zucchini in your own yard, you don't have friends.
Oh, yes. My neighbor, I'm on my big computer here. I have a pile of zucchini on my counter. You're right. So if you click the automate in the sidebar, oh, fun. If you click it, just the grade for me, in theory, you only have to do it once if you do it for enough days. So when do you want it to stop auto scoring? Now, because I just want to like make it do it faster, I go to the main menu and I click score on the main menu, so we'll do it now. But it's set it and forget it. If you do the auto score, it's gonna keep scoring for as many days as you told it to. You are gonna like this, I swear. What's gonna happen is you're gonna make it, because once in a while I'm an idiot and I use the create button, I create an assignment, and then I open the assignment, it's not auto scored. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna come back to this later when it's scored it. I swear I do that. When I open it up, I'm like, no, it hasn't done it yet. Yeah, I'll just come look at this one later. And then I come back later and it's still not auto scored. And then I have this realization like, oh, I'm a dope. I didn't make it from the spreadsheet and now I have to do my own work. And then I feel sad.
So when it asks you, because it finally loaded them all, I'm basically stealing them. I mean, I'm playing, right? So this is an old classroom and I'm stealing these from my teammate, right? So then it asked me if I wanted to create a topic. So if I put like from Katie's class, these will all dump into my classroom.
Right. So there's two things. Do you notice I have no topics here?
Right.
I said no. If you said yes, it would steal all her topics, all of them. Now, what it won't do is it will not organize them into the topics yet. Do you want to know the weeds? When you make a new topic, it gives it a new topic number. The numbers don't match. You don't realize it, but your topics have a number in the background. It's the ID, the topic ID. And so when you reuse it, it gives you the topic ID from that class. But even though they're the same name, they don't have the same number. So I have to like look it up and match them. I can do it. I just need to sit down for 2 hours and plot through like, okay, how am I going to do it? Because it's not fast. Like in my mind, I know how I'm going to do it, but it'll just take me some time of trial and error. I just haven't yet. So right now it'll put the topics in there and then I just drag them.
Okay.
But I will. I told you, I'm just going to keep making this better. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, it's already amazing. I just wanted to know when I'm typing stuff in, what's happening.
Yes. So if you want it to suck in all of her topics. And even if I don't want all the topics, it takes me less time to delete the ones that I don't want than it does for me to make topics. So I usually say yes. But the problem is sometimes I have I've taught the same class multiple times, but so the assignments aren't all exactly the same. So I'll reuse. I do the get the here. Come here. Show the sidebar. Go to assignments. I do the list assignments for like 3 different classes, so I can steal from a bunch of classes. Well, in that case, I don't want all the topics from all the classes I'm stealing from. So then I say no. By the way, I finally wised up, and where it asks you if you want the topics, yeah, I think I fixed that last week. Because it used to just give them to you whether or not you wanted them.
This is awesome.
Thank you. Try the template tab. I love template tab. Template tab is my favorite.
What does template tab do?
It puts all your students into one spreadsheet. That's all I want in life. You might notice I do that quite a bit in my workshops. I'm like, find your name on the tab, and I have a graphic organizer. So when I go into, you have to do the roster first. There it goes. I have to do the roster first, then I can do template tab.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah, because it's telling me you haven't run the roster first.
I made a decision. I made a decision that the roster to slides and the template tab, that I would have you show the roster first, because obviously I have the roster in the code. I don't need to show it. But if you wanted to delete people or change their names to a nickname or something, I thought you wanted to have more control over which names get pushed. So you can just edit this freely. You're like, where's my roster? And you're like, yeah, not these guys. So I'm just going to delete them. It doesn't mess anything up, because if I click show roster, it actually deletes it and redoes the roster. See, the roster tab went away and it remakes the roster tab. So if you want to just play with, get the roster, mess it up, do whatever you want with it. Then when you do roster slides, when you do template tab, you have control. So I made that decision that you had to do the roster first. If you don't get new kids in and out, then it's a one-time. So back in my assignment, not that one, in this one, back in my assignment, refresh.
So then I click the link, and that'll take me to the actual thing it made.
Didn't I make this with the 310? I thought I clicked it. I don't know. I'll just do it one more time. Okay, I'm going to go to the main menu. I'm going to click on assignments. I'm going to show my roster. And then, oh, you know what? I was pushing it to the remote GC class. That's why it didn't show up, because I was using the other spreadsheet. This is not usually a problem I have. Okay, check it. Now what you have to do is in your add-ons, you need to install the template tab. That's something I did go through the effort of submitting to Google. It took me 6 years to get it approved. You see why I don't submit these? It took me 6 years to get it approved. I cried. So, but it dumps your roster in the spreadsheet. That's basically what it does. When you click template tab, it puts your roster in a new spreadsheet. So then on this tab with the graphic organizer, that's where I like make answer boxes and stuff. So then when I go to the template tab, I just run it. I don't have to set it up. I just run it. And it's going to make a tab. Look at this on the bottom. It's all I want in life. So this does several things by doing it from the spreadsheet. It's already in Google Classroom. It is already in Google Classroom. Let's go over here. You see right here? 3 dots, edit. It made the spreadsheet for me. It said it that they can edit. It put all their names on it. And the only reason why it has all the tabs at the bottom right now is because, remember, I ran the add-on. So you do have to do that manually. But it saves me so much time. And now I made it from the spreadsheet, which means it'll auto grade. That's all I want in life.
So, sorry. So how do you get like let's say you want a graphic organizer on here. Do you have to then go in and put it on every single student's page?
No, that's what template tab does. It makes the graphic organizer per student.
Okay.
So let me open that back up. So, so you remember is I had 2 tabs. I had the roster, and on the other sheet, I made this big yellow box.
Okay.
Okay, now look at the bottom. I got every one of you.
Right.
I did not. These are you guys. You all have a big yellow box.
So you just create the Google, or you just add the graphic organizer into the actual Google Sheets.
Right. So when you click template tab, it'll just put your roster into a spreadsheet. That's really what it does. It doesn't do anything. It's a trick. It puts your roster in a spreadsheet. So if you want your roster in a spreadsheet, click template tab. But the other thing that it did is it set it up for you. So it said graphic organizer on the second tab.
Gotcha. Okay.
So then you can design that graphic organizer. But you have to, I decided to you should just install template tab. You should have it. It's amazing. So you're going to need to run it from the add-ons menu. You're going to have to run template tab when you're ready. The reason why I could automate it, but the reason I don't is because you have to make the graphic organizer. So you need to wait till you're ready. Do you see this? Gabby just wrote hi, or someone did. This is all I want in life, is to see students doing work synchronously.
Alice, can you tell us again how to prevent one student from writing on someone else's tab?
I give you my opinion and not the answer to your question.
Okay. Collaboration.
It is a skill that they're going to go out of our schools and go work in jobs that if they delete someone else's work, they will be fired. I also know this is that we're sometimes like, if you don't do these assignments, you're going to be a bum in life. No, they're not. You know, they just don't want to do those assignments. How they behave at school is not necessarily how they're going to behave at their job, but still. It's not a natural life skill. You're not born knowing how to collaborate on Google Sheets. And so I prefer to have pain and suffering. I prefer to have pain and suffering the first several times we do it, where they do whatever it is they're gonna do. Because if I lock it down, which I can, if I lock it down, then they didn't learn how to behave. So I feel like part of my objectives here is like, we're just gonna, the trick is whatever you do, do it a lot. So if you're gonna use template tab, use template tab every week. Gabby, I can lock you down. I can just protect the range. And I'm like, the only people that can edit it is me. Okay, so Gabby, you cannot edit the yellow box because I just locked down the yellow box, but you can edit other places. I can't protect the entire sheet. But again, while I can do those things, I'd rather teach them how to maneuver. Now, yes, the first few times they'll be punks and they will do things on purpose. Okay? But after that, usually it's a mistake. Usually it's a mistake. And it's just becoming comfortable with collaborating.
And you can include those soft skills in your rubric for the assignment as well.
Sure, definitely.
You can have a rubric for soft skills, right? I'm going to use one.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, my next one. Yep, is at noon my time. So 50 minutes. All right, any last questions? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Tasha, send me the zucchini bread recipe. I got a lot.
Thank you so much. This was incredible.
Appreciate it.
I have a quick question. When we share the spreadsheet link in the Google Classroom, we just keep that as a draft, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I put it in the description. I put it in the description, and not, I mean, you can add it as a link, but the reason I don't is because I'm actually looking, if you look at a particular tab, the link at the top goes to that tab. So what tab do you want it to open up to?
Okay.
That's the link I put in there. If you put it in the add link, it cuts off the tab ID and it'll just open up to the first sheet. So because I like it to open up to not the first sheet, but I have it open up to the scores tab just because it makes me feel good. But you might want to have it open up to the roster, or if you're using the push slides, you might want to have it open up to the push slides tab. So whichever tab you like, copy that link at the top and put that in your Google Classroom as your default where it goes. That's a tip. It doesn't really matter, honestly.
Excellent. Thank you.
So Lisa, how can you get past your district disabling add-ons? You're going to have to ask them. So normally, like for a lot of the add-ons, you just go do it in your personal Gmail accounts. And then, well, actually, I always recommend you make a Gmail just for teaching, that it's not like your real email that you use for anything. It's just for making your teacher documents and stuff. And from there, I run the add-ons because Gmail doesn't have any restrictions. Product, after the add-on does its thing, then I share it with my school. That works fine, except you can't give permissions to the Google Classroom on a Gmail account. So this would only work on your school account. So if they block it, then you just need to tell them not to. I mean, good luck. Yes. And I'm a little unsure how you all got the links to this if you're not a premium member, because the webinar itself is for premium members. So thanks, Mimi. So what I do every week is I I send out an email that say, these are my webinars for the week, these are my office hours for the week, and then I have online workshops, and then I have premium stuff that I code, and I try to really work hard to give you more stuff than is worth $12 a month. But I mean, really what you're getting is I'll help you. I literally set aside several hours of my day every day to do this as a job. This is my job. I emailed it to you. Anna, let me stop screen sharing. I'm going to stop recording. Stop recording.